Many may wonder, while there is an electric cycle, why we built the Ranger. Stay till the end of this video and you will understand why we built the Ranger Retro. The E-Motocross is not just an electric bicycle. It's a culmination of real-world experience with innovation. So let me explain as to where we started. In the year 2021, we aligned with Dunzo with their delivery boys in Pune as well as in Chennai, and the results that we obtained were an eye-opener. While the delivery times we were able to match with the IC engine siblings, extra earning of 25%. We ran this experiment for close to 2 months and then the problem started. The bikes started breaking. It is because no normal bike is designed to travel 100 kilometers a day for 25 days. So that is when we realized and went back to the drawing board and started working on the design. Basically, what we were thinking of is a motorcycle form factor with an electric bicycle heart, and that is how the Ranger was born. Our first launch, the Ranger Deluxe, set a very high standards in the Indian market. How do we make it a little more affordable? We once again went to the drawing board to re-evaluate component by component. That's how the Ranger Retro was born. And now let us explore this Ranger Retro component wise so that you understand the amount of effort that has gone behind in designing this bike, keeping you all in mind. So let us start with the wheel set. The wheel set is a 20 by 4 wheel set fitted to a aluminum alloy rim, spoked to a ultra low friction bearing. Spokes are made of stainless steel to take care of the corrosive environment. Now on the rear, we have our patented and proprietary manufactured the DMT 250/350 X2 motor, which has roughly about 42 Newton meters of torque. And when I explain the electric drive system, we will cover this part. Next, let us come to the frame. Aesthetic quotient is driven by the frame design. And we spent a lot of time in iterating and coming up with this frame design. And while doing so, there were 3 factors considered. One is the material that we were going to choose, keeping in mind the terrain in which it would be riding and the frequency of rides that's going to be taken up on this bike. So what normally we would have done is to choose the ERW steel. Instead, we choose the chrome moly steel. Now, as you know, chrome moly steel does have a very high strength and a very high fatigue resistant. Now let me explain a little bit of fatigue. Like in human beings, when we continuously keep doing jobs, we do get tired, and at some point of time we call ourselves that, we are fatigued. The same thing happens with materials too. As you put them into continuous service, they do achieve fatigue and at some point of time do lead to fatigue failures. So chrome moly steel is one of the best tubings in this space where it has a very high fatigue resistance. The second aspect is the tubing size. We have purposely chosen a larger diameter tube for constructing these frames. While the larger diameter gives an aesthetic appeal, it also gives you a better bending moment and twisting force. So now we look at the suspension system that we have put into these bikes. So we have a monocoque suspension at the rear with a very high spring constant to manage the Indian roads, and on the front once again a spring suspension with a very high spring constant takes care of the rough Indian roads, be it on the village side or on the highway. The brakes. Now for bikes of this form factor, being heavy, and as you pick up speed, your rolling moment increases and you need to have very powerful brakes to bring them to a halt. So what we have done is we have used a 180 rotor with front and back, a double piston hydraulic brake. Now the brakes used on these machines are completely different from what we use on our other Pedaleze range of bikes, and I would say even in competitor bikes, where generally they use a 160 rotor, some even use a mechanical brake kit. At Pedaleze, we have always preferred to use a 180 rotor with a double piston hydraulic brake kit. The brake pads are slightly larger than your normal electric bicycle brake pads. Seat. Now since these bikes are designed for long distance travel, it is very important that we concentrate on the saddle design. And if you see, the saddle has been designed in line with a cafe racer style with a much broader base, it can help people riding on long distance to sit comfortably and commute with ease. So now let us get to the mechanical drive system. The mechanical drive system is a single speed drive system with a derailleur. One may ask us as to why we did not put in a multi-drive system. Now for a motor sitting at the rear wheel, for a hub motor, a multi-drive system does not give you the advantage that you would expect, unlike the mid-drive systems. So we restricted ourselves to a single drive with a ratio of 1:2.6 and a derailleur to compensate for the swing arm action, and that's about with the mechanical drive system. Now we come to the most important part, is the heart of the bike. At Daijo, we spend a lot of time in ensuring that we have a smooth and synchronized drive system put into the bike. So on the bike, we have our proprietary motor coupled to a sine wave controller, I would say an intelligent controller, and a sensor, cadence assisted sensor, human machine interface at the top. Now when it comes to the battery system, we have one of the largest battery system in the market for this range of bikes. It runs on an 18Ah battery. Battery is made up of the 21700 cells, which have a high energy density. A person weighing 75 kgs running on a flat terrain with an average wind of around 10 to 15 kilometers with the right yaw pressure on the tires can reach anywhere between around 60 to 70 kilometers range. Next is the HMI, a simple intuitive HMI, password protected and user configurable. We also have emergency USB port that you can charge your mobile. Use it sparingly. So when you are at low battery, I would recommend that you don't use it. On your switch panel, you have an indicator switch. Then you have the horn, and in addition, special button, which is the red button for any lights that you may want to fit on a later date. So that is a spare button given here. Then you have the horn button here. Now for your headlights, you need to just quick press your on off button. Now for the password mode, press the plus and set together and it goes into your password setting. Now let me set all ones for this particular machine again. Now I long press the set and the password is set, and once you set the password, it's very difficult to crack open it, and for some reason if you all forget the password, then you have to bring it to Pedaleze service. And one of the salient features on this machine is our intelligent cruise mode, and as you ramp up, you need to squeeze it to the maximum and hold it for more than 4 seconds when it hits the cruise, and thereafter you can release the accelerator and cruise. Around 24 to 25 kilometers, you would find the motor switching off and switching on, which will give you a jerk. At that point of time, the cruise will never come on. So therefore, the recommendation is, in a particular stretch, squeeze it immediately to the maximum, hold it for about 4 seconds and release it, and thereafter the cruise will maintain between 24 and 25 so that you don't have these jerks and the bike will be smooth. Thank you very much for being with us throughout the video. We have two color offerings now. One is the blue and the copper brown. For your bookings, please contact the mobile numbers given at the description.